Let's gavel.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Gavel. It's so good to have you back here.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Today's episode is about outlining and finals. And we're going to be talking about our 1L finals, but hopefully 2Ls and 3Ls can take away some tips and tricks from this episode too. So, wow, Bailey, do you remember 1L finals?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, let me think back.
Yeah, like if you
1L
could
finals.
describe your 1L finals in one word, what
Yeah.
what would you say?
One word to sum up that whole period of time, 1L year. I think I would say I was kind of feeling, I think I would say scary. It was a little bit scary. I think I was just kind of scared, like I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what was coming. Like everyone was like, "Ooh, finals." This was the first time I think that I had one test representing like your whole entire semester's worth of knowledge. So that was kind of scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
What did you feel?
I would also say chaotic. That just
Hmm.
felt like so much pressure.
It did. Yeah. And then it
Yeah.
kind of came out of nowhere. I felt like it was like the whole year they were like, outline, make your study guides. And it was just kind of all words until the
Mhm.
dates. Like I remember we got the schedule of our
Yes.
final classes and you find like what classes are yours and you're just like, oh shoot.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Not all of my classes had midterms, so it really for a
Same.
lot of them, it was, like, really, like, the final and then maybe a 20% buffer for, like, participation grade, but,
Participation.
like,
Yeah.
that's not gonna, like, do it, you know?
Right. And for me, like I wasn't banking on the participation grade because I was not really asking a lot of questions. I was kind of, like I said before, hang out in the back. So
Yeah.
20% participation, but an 80% final
Yeah.
is kind of
Whoa.
like I get one test to make you believe that I know what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
But in the movies when they're in the library, it was literally that, was it
Yeah.
not? That
Yeah.
during that
Yeah.
period, it was everybody was in the chairs in the library. The library was full.
Full. I also did a lot of studying alone in my apartment, which
Mhm.
for me is actually quite unusual because 'cause I'm a library girl through and through. All of my memories are just in my apartment, studying for the finals, and I just think I drove myself into madness alone in my apartment, and so
Mhm.
that's why my word's chaotic because I did so many just crazy things, and I was just crashing out constantly.
Yeah, sometimes I like to be around people
Mhm.
studying because it makes me feel more motivated, and then sometimes it's stressful because everyone has their weird little study ticks and they're bouncing their leg or they're flicking their pen or they're clicking their pen or whatever, and I don't like dealing with people's,
Mm.
ticks. I
Yeah.
think first year, if I wasn't at home studying, I was in the Starbucks. You remember that Starbucks that was like right on the corner?
Oh
Do you
my
remember
god,
where that is?
yes.
Yeah, so I
Really?
would I would sit there outside and I would get the blonde Americano, which is like the strongest coffee at Starbucks.
Oh my god,
Did you
yes.
get that?
That's when law school is when I found out the difference between the blonde and the dark
Same,
for this exact
same,
reason. It's like, "Give me
same.
the most caffeine."
I was like, "Which coffee is the strongest one?"
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
like, "Blonde Americano." I was like, "All right, I'll take it."
When I would need breaks, I'd get up and do, like, dance breaks.
I
And
still
that
do that.
yeah, no, same, same. But, like, during finals, I was like, "Okay, what can I do, like, for 5 minutes just to snap me out of this funk?" And then I found
Mhm.
that dance breaks were the way to go for
Yeah.
me.
I
Yeah.
think for sure. I think it just sometimes I'm like, "Okay, I just need a song." Like, I'll say, "I
Yeah.
need a song." Like, I need at least, like, a 4 to 5-minute song, and I just need to, like, forget. Like,
Yeah.
forget that this is, like, real life and, like, my test is like, the time to study is fleeting,
Oh my
and so I'm
gosh.
like, Forget that for, like, 5 minutes and just dance and just be a girl, you know?"
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, I
same.
still do that. It still helps to, like every time I finish
Mhm.
court, if I'm doing, like, a remote appearance or something, I will just as soon as I'm done, I'm like, "Click," and I'm like, "Boom, da, da, da," and
Really? You get up and
yeah,
dance? Oh, that's so
yeah,
cute. I love
it's
that.
fun,
For
and then
me,
I'm
it's
like, "Ah,
after
back
work. I get home and I'm like, "Malik, please, I need a moment," and I come upstairs and dance.
to it." That is so funny. You know what else I do and what I used to do too, in law school? I'm pretty sure I did it first year law school too. I like to go to YouTube
Mm,
and I like to type in karaoke.
mm.
But I'll just karaoke because sometimes I don't want to dance. I just want to sit on my couch and just be like yell, you
Yeah.
know,
Like,
and
sing
just
your
like
heart out.
scream, yeah,
Yes,
sing my heart out. And then it doesn't
yes,
matter if I hit the note, whatever, you
yeah.
know.
Are there other things you would do during final season to, like, bring yourself back, ground yourself a little bit?
Mm-mm. I mean, get a fresh coffee.
Of
You know, I
course.
would do that. I would
Goes
always do
without
that.
saying.
Yeah, it goes without saying. It goes without
But
saying.
I think kids these days, they're doing matchas now. I know you're
Right.
doing matchas
I like
too. You're
matcha now too.
yeah.
Yeah, back then it was just pure coffee. Who cared about the
Yeah.
matcha? Like no one
Yeah.
didn't care about the
We
matcha.
didn't really know about matcha, did we?
No,
I
no, I
didn't.
didn't know about it.
Yeah, I don't think I did a lot. And,
Mhm.
I had a weird finals schedule leading up to finals. So, I, like, would start setting a few weeks before because,
Mhm.
um so during the semester, I had, like, a kind of a difficult time, like, knowing this is 1L, right? The whole
Right, one
year of
out.
1L, yeah. I had a difficult time understanding what I really needed to know from my readings and, like, what facts and information I need to prioritize and what's just, like, other information. All the words would just kinda jumble, and so I figured out early on that my time spent on class readings was not that useful for me because I just never, like,
Right.
really understood. So
Mhm.
my tactic was during class, like, I would handwrite my notes, I would kind of listen and try to just take in as much as I can. I wasn't trying to get down every word, I wasn't trying to do the readings, like, perfectly beforehand.
Mhm.
So, because I didn't have a lot of notes during the semester, a few weeks before finals, let's say 4 weeks before a final, and then
Mhm.
I would get my syllabus. The syllabus would become my bare bones outline, and then I would reread the cases, basically work through the syllabus. But now that I kind of had a sense of a whole semester's worth of the class, I knew what I needed to focus on a little bit more. And so my outline was a little bit more useful than it would have been if I was just writing down every single word that I could think of during the semester, you know what I
Right.
mean?
That's smart, yeah.
Yeah. So then by the time that the official final studying rolled around, because remember how they would give us a week off before
Yeah, like
the
a
first
reading week they
final?
called it, or like fall break slash whatever. Reading week.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
by the time that time rolled around, I was done with rereading the course. So what I would do is I would work on now just, like, having a deeper understanding of everything and also making my condensed and attack outlines, like, during those few weeks.
Yeah, but, like, how did you have time, like, to okay, it's at the end, right? 4 weeks or whatever before the reading week is when you would start. That time we're still kinda like or, like, at least my
You're
professors are
still in
still
class.
teaching us yeah, like, you're
Yeah.
still in class, you're still learning other stuff, so, like, when were you like, how did
Mm.
you balance, I guess, doing the homework, or did you versus, like, starting to, like, prep for, like,
Yeah.
all of that?
No. Honestly, I didn't spend a lot of time prepping for class. I would, like, skim the cases, get a gist, like, a honestly, it's crazy, like, get a gist of what the case is about, very quickly highlight the issue in blue, the facts in orange, the analysis in green, and the conclusion in red, and just move on, like, I wouldn't think about it too much.
I see, so, like, you weren't really like, not even did you use, what was that website? You know the one? The orange?
Quimby? Quim
Quimby, yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
I
Quimby it, or did you just, like, go through, like, on paper, like, go through the actual case, but just boom, 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 highlight, and then move on?
both,
Okay.
both. Yeah, yeah, I would Quimby it because again, like,
Mhm.
it's not like I understood. I just knew, like,
Right.
I just knew I'm not gonna spend my time understanding this right now because 'cause we'll talk about it in class and I can figure it out later. I'd rather, like, go
Oh,
back and start making an out like, a real usable outline from,
that's
like, the
crazy.
beginning of the course. I don't know, like,
That
I
was
don't know
kinda brave,
why.
though. That's brave because I don't
I
know,
know.
like, did you ever get cold called during that period of time or no? Or, like, by
Mm,
that time, were you okay? Because at the end of the 1L, maybe you had figured out, like, the cold call
right.
system and you were like, "Whatever."
Yeah, I think that's it. It's not like it's comfortable per se,
No.
but I might be more used to my environment, so maybe I could predict like what questions were. I don't really know, dude. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I
The
know.
whole first year for me was just it was like survival time.
It was. It was like living in Survivor, the show,
Yeah.
was it not?
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. It's crazy. I feel like I almost did like probably the exact opposite. I was
Mhm.
so like nervous for class that I was like one time I don't even know if I mentioned this already, but I so over prepared for one class that like I didn't even
Oh, yeah,
have
you're
yeah, I think I told you about that.
scrolling.
Yeah, that I did just like completely blanked out. But I would super prepare because I was just nervous that like even once I kind of got used to like my environment and like I wasn't so worried about if I sounded good anymore during a cold call. I was just like, I just want to have an answer or be
Mhm.
able to say something in case I was going to get called on. So I think I spent a lot of time making sure I knew the ins and the outs of the case. And I
Mhm.
think it wasn't until like later I was like, let me use Quimby or something.
Wait, okay. Even as you're talking about it now, I'm thinking even if I wanted to do that, your method,
Hmm.
again, it would just be a bunch of words that didn't really mean anything to me, no
Hmm.
matter how much I read, because, those cases it's not a page, it's like 20-page
No,
cases.
right.
So as I'm reading, like even page 3, I'm like, oh crap, what
What's
about everything
happening?
I just read was relevant? They just seriously. So I have a question. You were a political communications major, right? As
Hmm.
undergrad. Did you guys do any case reading? Did you read cases
We read
or philosophy
I think
maybe?
we did. I think we did read cases.
Mm,
It was like we took like a media law class. That was the closest like law class that we took. And I did
mhm,
have to take some poli sci classes. We did read cases, but we weren't taught like in the tradition of like issue, analysis, conclusion, whatever, dicta, whatever. We weren't taught in that way. So even when I was reading cases, like I wouldn't say that I learned enough to be able to like use it in law school. But
right.
I think I am more like of a, I think maybe you're, well, I don't know which way is which way, but one's top down. Is that you? Like you look at the bigger picture, and then
Interesting.
maybe I'm like the opposite. Like I need to know the smaller things to be able to then step
Yes.
outside and be like, okay, I know where everything fits.
Oh, okay.
Where I
Yeah, I
think
think
you're
you're
more
right.
like
I'm the
all
opposite.
these small things, I'm not really hearing you on the small things because I need to
Yeah.
get the bigger picture. So you
Yes.
kind of just like sat in class and like took notes and like
Took it in.
listen.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh,
Mm,
that's such a good observation.
right? Is
That
that I think that's different. I think that's
I
why we're
think that
different then.
bleeds through in everything. Like even in my writing classes, like I was always a conclusion first. And like yeah, going through the semester, I was always like big picture and then I can get into the outlining.
Yeah.
Like even my tips for outlining, it's gonna be like conclusion first. You're
Right.
right.
Right. That's
Uh-huh.
kind of crazy. I think I like maybe dabble in both, but I think during the first year or first semester specifically, I was very much so like I need to know like every
Hmm.
thing that's happening. And then my outlining process is more like, okay, now where does it all fit? And I think that did kind of, because all the classes were so niche, right? Like every class was like so small picture. I
Mhm.
think at the end, I just spent time like, okay, how do I make this? How do I understand the bigger picture from all these smaller pictures? Like, how do I put this together? And
Mm.
so I would spend time drawing. That's why a lot of my notes, I think, had a lot of like arrows and connections and charts and like flow charts because it was just trying to put it all in one like map. But I couldn't have understood that until I got the smaller picture, at least for me. So my outlines were very much like diagrams or charts or,
Yeah,
some
interesting.
sort of like flow chart.
I was going through my old outlines ahead of this episode, and I was thinking to myself, Bailey would scream if she saw my outlines because they are literally just 20 pages of words,
Oh my
just
gosh,
pure
no.
words. I think I had
No color, I'm assuming.
very minimal color, like
Mhm.
highlight in yellow the name of the case. That's like one thing I always did. Highlight in yellow the name of
Okay.
the case, and that's pretty much the
Mm,
color.
that was the extent.
And I think I had t between 1 and, like, 3 charts total on my outlines.
Mm.
Mm, yeah. So it was all words, really.
That's so
But your
crazy.
outline's colorful,
Yeah, I should have shown
right?
you. Yeah. Like every, and it was so funny because I was talking with my sister the other day and she said something similar, or she reminded me of how I explained how I would explain this to you. Like for me, my outlines are longer, but because I feel like I want one topic per page, I would sooner make my font size 8 to fit it on the page than to drop it down to another page for if it was like a
Wow.
specific topic. Is that
Yeah.
crazy? Like, cause I just
You're
like to have,
super visual,
yeah, I just
very
wanted it like
visual.
a huge, like, what do you call it? Heading, and then everything with that heading under that.
Okay. And so how
Yeah.
many, like, pages of that did you have going into your tests?
Okay, so I was looking at, I would have a longer outline that I would make, and I was looking at torts, for example,
Mhm.
just now, recently before this episode, and I had 72 pages of
Okay.
an outline.
Like, is that your full outline or your condensed outline?
That's the full one. That's the full
Okay.
one.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
not bad. That's not
It's,
terrible.
and it has like, I mean, if I can fit everything for the year in 72 pages with like
Pretty good.
diagrams and
Mhm.
like every page isn't full because if it didn't fit, like I would skip the page. Yeah, and so then I would condense it and the condensed attack, like as I started getting better, I realized, okay, I need an attack outline for my open book
Mhm.
exams because
Yeah.
even though I know where everything is, it's just going to take me a little bit longer. So if I have the attack outlines with like the way I would just be able to copy and paste it into my test, so like this is an example of negligence. Negligence is like I would write that in the attack outline just the way I would almost like verbatim put it in the test if I saw negligence in a test. That would be my attack outline,
Yeah.
and that would be shorter.
You just touched on so many different things. So, like, full outline versus attack outline, and then pre-writing is kind of what you're alluding to, and then
Yeah.
also closed book versus open book. So let's
Okay.
talk about all of
Back up.
them.
Back up.
Okay, so yeah, full outline versus condensed probably speaks for itself. Your full outline has all the info, and then the condensed outline is probably something you're more likely to use on test day, because it's a little bit easier to flip through, basically.
Yeah, under a
When
time
you're
crunch.
ta Yeah, and, like, to that's a good segue into open versus closed book exams. Open book exams means that you are taking the test, but you can also reference your notes whenever you want, however you want. So, like, they can be on your computer, they can be printed, like, you are allowed to bring notes into the test, and usually the open book exams, there's not, like, a limit. It's not like a you only get 1 index card. It's like you can bring
Right.
all your notes, you can bring your textbook, like, it's a true open book.
Mm-hmm.
But even with all that said, like, you need a condensed outline because you do not have time to flip through the book and try to, like, reread the case. There's no time
Or
for all
learn
that.
something during the time of the final. Like,
Absolutely not.
I think I tried that actually, like, not to learn
Really?
it, but yeah, for international analysis, my little professor, he was just too cute. He was elderly and so sweet. And he wasn't the whole time he was talking, nothing, like nobody was getting anything from him.
Okay,
It was
low
just like
key,
a
yes,
snooze
same.
fest of a class, right? For
Mm,
your international law class too?
international law is a little bit squishy. It's not the same.
Yeah. So anyway, that exam, I was like, yeah, I kind of get it enough to like take his exam. Like, how bad can his exam be when he didn't really say much like the whole semester? And I brought my book and I did like take notes and stuff, but I remember during that exam, I was trying to like, nothing stuck. I think
Mhm.
that even if you have an open book exam, you should have something like stick to your brain, like some general idea of what things are, you
Yeah.
know?
I
I
would
don't
say
think that happened
mostly.
for
I
me.
think you
Yeah,
you should have
you
most
mostly.
of an idea. Actually,
Right.
maybe like 99% of an idea.
Right, and then, like, 1% you have your notes. Like, I think for
Yeah.
that class, I was, like, 99% and got my notes, and 1% I'll
Yeah.
have an idea, yeah, and I remember, like, flipping through, like like, just trying to learn something. Yeah, that was stressful, don't do that, don't recommend.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you should definitely go in knowing. I would say the benefit of having your notes is to help you, remember how you're supposed to talk about the law and the conclusion and stuff,
Mhm.
you know?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. And then, okay, so that was open book. You have your notes.
Well,
Closed book is your traditional, like, memorization exam, or you can't bring any notes in. It's like every test you've taken up until law school, basically.
Mhm,
Yeah.
exactly.
And that's,
Classic.
like, actually but it's more common to have open book exams than closed book exams in law school.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is kinda crazy because you would think, like, being in a professional program that they want you to memorize things,
Mhm.
but no, wrong.
No.
And actually, I feel like that was one of at least me and the people that were in my mod, our kind of conversations were like, I wish that we had more closed book exams because trying to remember or trying to memorize everything for the bar was kind of like foreign. Having gone through 3 years where there's like mostly open book exams and like you have to memorize stuff, but not to like that level, like
Mm.
not to that level, you know? And so I think we were like, dang, like I wish we had more practice of this in law school, but you kind of, I don't
Wow.
know, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. Did you
That's
feel
so
that way?
interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, like for the bar, I wish we would have had practice, but I don't think I would have done nearly as well as I did if I didn't have my notes during finals.
No, true.
Seriously, I would have forgot
Like I'm
everything.
only here because I had open
Yeah,
book exam. Yeah.
exactly.
And I
Okay.
know, like, for a fact
Mhm.
that sorry, one more thing. I know for a fact that COVID happened right when we were taking torts because my tort professor was going to literally and, like, you can ask anybody in Mod B, our torts professor was, like every professor is, like, beyond smart, but she was, like,
Way too?
beyond. Yeah,
Really?
beyond, beyond. And we all were, like, so everybody was so scared for that exam that, like, when COVID hit and it became a open book exam, everybody was like, I knew it. Everyone literally was like, we were gonna fail that class.
No
Like as a
way.
class, we were going to fail. Yes, yes,
No,
yes,
wait,
yes.
what? Torts?
Torts. No, she was doing way. I can't even explain
That's
what she was doing.
so
When I say everybody was sick and everybody was like, no, but that torts exam, like she would say, like in class, um, and let's refer to the footnote on page whatever. Did you read the
oh,
footnote? Babe,
not a
nobody read the
foot
footnote.
not a footnote.
Nobody read the footnote. She was like, and did you go back to the appendix and see that?
Yes.
Like, nobody cares about that, especially when I'm in all these other classes. Like, I'm not looking at the footnote or the appendix for that.
Wow.
So she was testing out of those sections. So we were all like, oh my gosh, this is so
What?
scary. Yes, it's so scary. Anyway,
Wow, that's so interesting.
let me
I
see.
The
Oh,
footnotes is wild because here's the thing. Let's like To be honest with you, I was told that footnotes are important, which shocked me. It honestly shocked me because to me a footnote is an afterthought, but I guess
it
not. They
is.
put it's actually like they put footnotes for a reason. So pay attention to footnotes, people. I don't know. But to test
Mhm.
on footnotes is diabolical.
No, I remember the day that
Diabolical.
the class where she told us that, like where she made that known to us, because I think we were all in torts like, "Ooh, this is like
Yeah.
we're living la
No,
vida
if
loca
you
here in
only
torts."
knew. Girl, my torts professor showed up with a squirrel hat one day, so we
What?
had very different experiences.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, that's
Yes.
crazy. You guys are having
He
fun
was
in torts.
he was so silly about torts, I loved it. I loved it, and I
Oh my
feel like that's
gosh.
kind of like what torts is. Maybe because
It's
the
silly. She was so serious. Oh my gosh.
I don't know, I don't feel like torts is, like, super serious, even though I didn't realize this back then, but torts makes up, like, everything that we do now. Like,
No,
we
it's
are
literally everything.
Yeah, it's everything. So pay attention to torts, you guys, because you'll use it probably if
Oh
you're
wait, hold
gonna be a
on.
civil litigator.
Oh, okay, I
Um
got her name. I got her name.
oh, tell me your name. Oh, I heard of her.
She
Interesting.
was sickening. We had her at the same time and everybody was like,
No, 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 that's a lot.
that day that we found that out, like the room just felt so heavy. Like if I call right now and ask her to tell you about that day, everyone was just like, "Are you really gonna test us on a footnote? Because now we need to go back and see. Like now we
Yeah,
need to go back and see all the footnotes that we missed, and
yeah.
now we're scared." Yeah,
You know what? That's what's freaking annoying about law school is they'll throw shit like that at you as you're just fresh and new and you're like, "I barely understand." And all of a sudden you have to know the footnotes and it's like,
it's like
"Can
just when I
someone give
thought
me
I
a
was
break?"
no,
Yeah.
literally, it's like just when I thought I was making it here
Yeah.
by you
Mhm.
adding something onto the load that I'm already carrying.
That's so
Girl,
crazy.
I was like,
Girl.
pre-writing is what
Pre-writing.
yeah, let's talk about
Yeah.
that.
So, okay. So maybe before we get into pre-writing, you
Okay.
touched on racehorse exams. So
Yes.
those, do you want to explain what those are?
Okay, yeah. So racehorse exam is Well, I mean, I guess what it sounds like, it's an exam that was meant, at least for the exams that we had, you're not meant to finish them. They're just
Mhm.
like, it's a longer prompt or a longer question or a more involved question, I guess, that where the time limit is just not going to allow you to reach every single thing in that question.
Yeah.
So you're racing through the exam, and then it's just kind of like whatever you get down on the page, try to get it all down, but
Yes.
understand that you're not going to finish it. And that hurts, especially when you're trying to like not finishing an exam. Like for all
Yeah.
of us, I'm pretty sure that are in law school, like that is something
It
we just
feels
don't
weird.
do. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
seriously,
just
like, we
don't
get it
do.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't turn an exam incomplete. This is
Mhm.
like they know you're gonna turn it incomplete, but still just try your best. So
Right, and it's like
that's it.
it's like about the amount of issues that you can identify and get down and analyze correctly. So
Yeah.
that's like it's a test of volume, right?
Yes. Kind of like a little mini bar exam in that
Mhm.
way.
Yeah,
You know?
totally. Yeah,
Racehorse exams.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's I don't know if there's a term for it, but there's those deeper thinking type of exams where the
Hmm.
professor's looking for, there's a few questions and they want a lot of analysis on those
Yes.
questions. Yeah.
Yes. That's the
Mhm.
exam where you first like open it and you're kind of pleasantly surprised that it's only really like half a page a question. You're
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
I have 5 hours to do this?
Yes. But then
Yeah.
that half a page, woo, turns into
Turns
a whole
into,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
I
they
think,
get you.
is con law like that? I would say con law
Yeah,
is like
kind
that.
of was like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's not that deep. Even on the bar exam was the same way. Like it's not that deep of an issue, but
Mhm.
you have to like analyze it and go through all the things and
Yeah. Yeah. You
yeah.
need to have a good, robust discussion about the question versus just a quick
Yeah.
this is a what do they call it? God, offer, acceptance, mutual assent, consideration, like,
Right.
just bam, 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 bam. It's not like that. It's like,
No.
"Let's talk about it, and
It's
what
like
did
if you
this
look at
case
it this
say?"
way, you could
Yeah,
interpret it like this, but you could
yeah,
interpret it like this, and maybe some judges would see it this way, and some judges see it that way. Yeah.
yeah, and you will not believe how long these tests are, you guys. I'm talking, like, 4, 7, 8-hour tests where you're
24
actually
hour.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
24 hours is wild.
I had one like 24-hour exam, and I remember thinking like they're like just take all the time. Like, I'm sorry, that's stressful.
Yeah,
Okay?
I don't want
Because
all
you
that
want me to
test.
like eat, sleep, like it's like a whole entire day and I don't
Yeah,
want to forget to turn it in. I don't know. It's just yeah.
yeah.
Why?
The 8-hour exams, like, you're going to the bathroom with your laptop, like, you're just kinda, like, doing whatever you can to not miss a moment. It's 8 hours, and they really mean it, like, you're there for 8 hours.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, it's
Oh, and by the
wild.
way, I just want to say this. A lot of the open book exams, at least for me, maybe for you too, how to say, but they were at home, so they were remote. This
Mhm.
is even
Yeah.
before COVID, so
Mhm.
that's why you're like going to the bathroom and stuff because you're in your
Right.
own space, yeah. And you're just, I'm just saying, I realized that we didn't say that, so it
Yeah.
sounds like whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, you're at home, and this is pre-COVID, so I'm sure post-COVID they're still doing this,
Mhm.
but yeah, you're at home, you're in your own space, and you can take the 8 hours as you
Yeah.
like.
So, did
Hmm.
you ever do, pre-writing outlines for any of your tests?
I did. I actually
Okay.
started to do that more often.
Okay.
Yeah,
Tell
so
us
that
about
was
it.
so pre-writing is kind of what I touched on a little bit, but now we have the name of it, I guess, attached to what I was saying. But it's basically when like what I would do is I'd have my longer outline, my full outline, and then my attack or condensed outline would be how like I would pre-write my answers. So anything that I can control. So this law is about this, or like I would pre-think out that analysis
Mhm.
and write that statement in a condensed way so that if I recognize that issue, I would just copy and paste that and then go from there. So most of my time during the exam was focused on the analysis part of using the facts that were given to me and not on how to word the law.
Yeah, correct.
Mhm.
Same. I think for Civ Pro and Con Law, where there were specific subjects, for example, a question about summary judgment. The moving party has the burden of showing
Yes.
there's like no dispute of fact, and then it moves to the other side who now has the burden of showing there's a dispute of fact. That whole step by step, and these are the steps we're going through. I would pre-write all of those when it was like one, two,
Yeah.
three, or like
Yeah.
this side, that side.
Mhm.
But for, like, contracts or, like, torts even, I feel like the classes that you could say it in a sentence, you could say the issue and the rule in one sentence, I wouldn't
Mhm.
pre-write as much, I'd just have
Mhm.
an attack outline,
That's
but
smart.
yeah, the longer ones, I would do the pre-writes.
Yeah, it was helpful. I mean, I recommend. I feel like it also kind of helps put that law into context and kind of takes it out of just like takes it out of the textbook and that,
Right.
it's written in the black letter way and you can kind of word it in a way that makes sense to you. And I
Yeah.
think working with the material that way actually helps, memorizing too.
Yeah, exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. So, when you were studying for finals, like, did you have any particular study methods? Or was, like, your process what'd that look like? Just outlining?
Yeah, my I think let me think about study methods. Yeah, I mean, I would outline, but I think the way that I do my outlines because I am a visual learner would vary. So sometimes I used like flashcards, depending on what I felt the subject called for was how I kind of interpreted like the material or the deliverable that I felt like that subject needed. Does that make sense? So,
So, like, every outline was different?
yes.
Oh my I
So
would literally I would die if I didn't know.
yes, like, if you saw my like, this is why I still have every single school supplies thing that you could ever need,
Oh my god,
because also the way I would take notes would be different every single class too, and it would drive, like, my
I
friend that would
cannot.
sit next to me all the time crazy. So, sometimes I felt like it called for a flashcard moment. Sometimes it was the, like, full white paper, like, I don't even know what they're called, but
Butcher paper?
butcher paper moments where
God.
I would like tape it onto the wall and do that whole thing.
Oh my
Sometimes
god.
it called for like a whiteboard where I would do whiteboard sketches and outlines and stuff and then take a picture, print that out, do it, erase it, and do a different version.
Really?
Sometimes it called for that. Sometimes it was just a basic, regular, your run of the mill, type it out outline. Or
Oh my
sometimes I would
god.
even do like a handwritten outline on line paper. Sometimes I did that.
What?
hmm
What? How
Sometimes
long
I
would
did
that take you? A
I mean,
minute.
I don't even know how long things would take. I just if the subject called for that, I felt like this is the only way I
Oh
can
my
do
god.
this.
Would it take a lot of effort to figure out, go through that?
Yeah, it took a lot of effort to go through that.
Stop,
Yeah.
Bailey.
I couldn't study until I figured out the perfect method for that material.
How many hours are in your day? I could
Girl,
never.
I don't even know. Like I didn't even like I had to go through this process. Otherwise, like I'm telling you, I would not
Yeah,
have gotten through law school without
that's
going
fair.
through.
Yeah. Wow, that's really fascinating. But, like,
But
literally to each their own, of course, if that helped you, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But that's
No
why I feel
judgment.
like yeah, but it's kinda crazy, like, as I'm talking about it, it does seem like it seems natural to me to go through this
Mhm,
process, but it does seem like as I'm articulating it, I was a little bit excessive. Could I have cut some corners there?
mhm.
Could I have cut corners? Because
That's
that's why I feel like I can honestly do, a bar prep course because I have, like, so many methods
Mhm.
of, you know, how I
Yeah,
study.
yeah, you could teach the people all your methods.
Right, like, in different whichever way you feel like
Right. Whatever
you
resonates.
relate with, exactly.
I'm
So, okay, so
so
you're
I'm
opposite
so
of that.
linear, I'm so different. I'm just like the syllabus was my bare bones outline, and then as I'm reading the cases, I'm filling out what I need to know into that outline, and it's all words. And
And you
my
just type
long
it.
yeah, I'm typing it. The long outline is probably 100 to 120 pages.
Mhm,
And then I would work on my condensed outline, which usually it would be like 20 pages, but it was all words.
mhm,
Um, and then something I figured out a little bit later that I guess I wish I would have known in 1L. Actually, there's two things. So the first is that one of my writing professors told me that your outline is really just supposed to be the black letter law, and anything else in your outline is not appropriate for an outline, which I seriously did
mm,
not know. But
I didn't know that.
once she told me that, I was like, interesting. So my outlines over the course of law school, when I really registered this, I would have the big subject, right? And then first case and what is the main holding from that case. And then if I needed, I would have a bullet or two about the analysis, what was important, maybe something to remind me when this applied. But basically, it was just the holding after holding after holding, and that was my
Mhm.
whole outline. And really, like, if you know the material enough, that's really all you need for your outline. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I could have for sure fit all the holdings in
Yeah.
a flowchart.
Right.
But I was
Exactly.
putting all the yeah, I don't even know. Like, I have
Yeah,
to
you
show you some.
tend in the beginning to put every detail.
I mean, and it's like a natural process because you just don't know. I mean, if you're, if your professor, some professors do give practice exams,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
that can help, like kind of like frame or like help your understanding on like what that professor is gonna teach
Yeah.
or like what not teach, what they're gonna test on.
Yeah. I have a
Um,
hot tip about practice exams.
mhm,
Another thing that I learned later that I wish I would have known earlier, and that is that if your professor gives you practice exams, which a lot of mine actually did, I know yours didn't as much, Bailey, but if
mm-mm,
you're lucky enough where your professor is giving you a practice exam or two, take them in the beginning before you get like too really deep into your outlining. Take them in the beginning, and I'll explain why in a second. Do your outlining and then take them again at the end. The reason it's important is
mhm,
especially for 1L courses where those are bar exam courses, they have to cover every single subject because it's a bar exam course. They need to teach you everything, but they're not going to test you on everything. So when you get a practice exam from your professor, it's kind of a way to realize what they're going to test you on. So if you do that early before you get into your outlining, then I have a clue of, oh, my professor likes this subject or asks me questions this way or that way. And that will help you extract the right information in your finals outline as you're going through the outlining process. You guys, it might sound so counterintuitive. It's useful to you in the beginning because of exactly what I said. It tells you what your professor is going to ask. And it's useful to you at the end because by the time you've gone through your outlining, like you almost like forgot what that test was about anyways. So now
mhm.
you're going in and you're testing your knowledge. And so it works on both ends of the outlining process. Highly recommend. I hope people do this. And I
No, yeah,
know it'll
that's
help.
no, it's so smart. I didn't learn that until, or I guess I relearned it when it came time to study for the bar
Right.
because I didn't have like a lot of practice tests throughout law school actually, especially even like especially first year. I don't remember receiving any actually.
Mhm.
Um, but so we just used like exams or outlines from other students, or would because they are bar subjects, we would pull questions from like treatises or
Mhm.
MBE, like multiple choice. Even if we weren't being tested on a multiple choice exam, like we would pull multiple choice questions to kind of just like test our knowledge. But when it came time for the bar, I did exactly what you're saying, which is take the practice exams, like even if I don't really know a lot
Yeah.
earlier, and it is kind of, I mean, it's humbling and no one likes
Yeah.
to feel like you don't know anything. And it
Yeah.
does make you feel that way. But once you get over that and you realize this is not being graded, no one knows I got all the questions wrong. Nobody really
Right.
knows that I don't know anything at this point. And then just use it as like, okay, like I'll just, like, kind of like you're saying, like fuel to like then kind of help
Nowhere.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like you're not just going to take the practice exam without looking at the answer. So when you're looking at the answer, you're also starting to learn the concepts, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you've looked at those concepts once. And then when you come across those concepts again as you're making your outline, you're like, oh, this was on the practice test. So
Mhm.
it's super duper helpful. Please use it.
That's so true. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's a great tip.
Thanks. Tip of the
Yeah.
day.
To sum up takeaways, a couple takeaways I would say for the outlining process 1L year, I would say start early if you can. Every
Mhm.
class, after every class is opportunity to like rework your notes if you have time or on the weekends to kind of like go through what you learned that week. And that can be in and of itself like little mini outlines throughout the semester, and then you can put it together and form your larger outline. So I would say start early.
Mhm.
I would say um, choose whichever method works best for you. You may lean more toward homicide side. You may lean more toward the crazy side that I'm offering.
Mhm.
Either way, like outlining is super. it's a personal process, you know, it's a whatever way you process your own thoughts and your notes and how you learn best. So
Mhm.
if it doesn't look like everybody else's way, it's totally fine as long as like you know the material at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Um, and the last tip that I would say, I'm gonna say, and then you can offer some tips too. Last tip I would say is check. Like I think it's helpful to be in the library, and I think it's helpful to talk to the librarians there who
Mm.
have the treatises or have the little special. Like there's a lot of books that I got from them that are like quick, like contracts, and I don't know how to explain. They're like not treatises, but they're like study, what do you call them? Like workbooks almost?
Okay. I don't know. I
Yeah,
never
they're like
used them.
workbook. Okay, yeah, they're like workbooks where there's questions and they will condense the law or condense like say negligence or explain the law differently.
Mhm.
Um, and I have a lot of those books. Like I still actually have them now.
Mm.
Especially on the first year subjects because they are so like quintessential to law and life in general. Um, those little books are like not even treatises, like treatises can be bigger, but just call them like maybe workbooks or little guides. Those are super helpful even throughout the semester. So as I got older in law school, 2 or 3 a year, I would pull those books sooner and use them to actually form my notes earlier or learn the topics earlier. And
Wow.
so I think yeah, they were super helpful.
Wow,
I wish I knew the better name for them, but I would say like workbooks.
that's such a good tip.
Yeah,
Okay, I think
those are
my
my 3 tips.
takeaways, those are good tips. Those are good tips. My takeaways, use whatever method works for you. Make your own outlines, even if you have to refer to other people's outlines just to, I don't know, get ideas or clarify an idea. I would still say make your own outline because going through the process of putting that together, I think is very beneficial. It
Mm-hmm.
like, you got to get deep in that subject and condense it. And it's a very good practice to make your own outline. Um, when you're making your outline, as much as you can tolerate to do this, focus on the holding and just a few points of analysis. Don't feel like you need every detail in there because you probably won't. You won't have time to include every detail in your exam responses. So focus on the black letter law. Um, do the practice tests early and then redo them after you've made your outline. And then I guess one more tip I have that we didn't really talk about, but some people are independent learners. Some people love study groups and only want to study with study groups. Try a study group or two. It'll probably help you more than hurt you if you do that. So those are my
Yeah,
tips.
that's it, you guys. That's our 1L outlining sesh.
Yeah, love it.
And
Yeah, if you have questions, definitely let us know. We love
yeah,
questions.
or if you're like, what about this or what about that? Or I did
Yeah.
this and like, will that work?
We're sending you guys all the good vibes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. You'll do great.
You'll do
Believe in
great.
yourself. Believe in yourself. You can do it. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. All right, team. Love you, Gavelers. We'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.